You're listening to Neurodivergent Mom Life, unfiltered and unstoppable, where we embrace the chaos, celebrate neurodiversity, and empower moms like you to thrive in motherhood. We all know that the systems in place often don't support us or our kids. And in this episode, we're diving into the challenges of raising neurodivergent daughters in a world that just doesn't get it. But despite these broken systems, the bonds we build with our children are unbreakable. We'll talk about how to navigate these challenges and create a supportive environment for our daughters. Ready? Let's dive in. And it is about broken systems, unbreakable bonds, raising neurodivergent daughters in a world that just doesn't get it. So if you remember those awkward parent-teacher conferences where you sat in a tiny chair fidgeting like a caffeinated gopher while your daughter's teacher rattled off a list of her quote-unquote problem behaviors. Or maybe it was the endless rounds of doctor's appointments where you felt like a broken record repeating the same concerns over and over, only to be dismissed with a vague diagnosis of anxiety or growing pains. Maybe that resembles your own childhood. Because for years, I navigated a labyrinth of educational and medical systems that were all ill-equipped to understand my neurodivergent brain. I was told I was too sensitive, too distracted, and too emotional, and I was labeled as lazy, difficult, and not living up to my potential. It wasn't until I was diagnosed as an adult with both ADHD and autism that the pieces finally clicked into place. It was like finding the missing puzzle piece that completed the picture of my life, a picture that had been blurry and fragmented for far too long. But with that realization came a wave of anger and grief. Anger at a system that had failed me, and grief for the years I had spent feeling lost, misunderstood, and inadequate. And then, like a fierce mama bear protecting her cub, a determination rose within me. I vowed that my daughter would not suffer the same fate. I would not let a broken system define her future. I would fight for her, advocate for her, and build a better world for her to thrive in. Maybe the system wasn't designed for us, but that doesn't mean we have to accept it. We can challenge the status quo, educate those who don't understand, and create a community of support for our neurodivergent daughters. We can be the change we wish to see in the world, just like a certain bespectacled wizard and his band of misfits. This is our journey. It's a journey of resilience, of advocacy, and of unwavering love for our daughters. And together we can create a world where neurodiversity is not just tolerated, but celebrated. So let's face it, moms. Navigating traditional systems with a neurodivergent brain can feel like trying to squeeze a TARDIS into a Mini Cooper. It's just not a good fit. Schools, workplaces, and even social circles are often designed with the narrow definition of normal in mind. Think cookie-cutter curricula, standardized tests that value rote memorization over creative thinking, and social expectations that prioritize conformity over individuality. It's like trying to force a square peg into that round hole, and the results are often frustrating, demoralizing, and downright unfair. So here's a closer look at some of the ways traditional systems can fail our neurodivergent daughters and ourselves. One is the standardized testing trap. Remember those bubble tests that made you feel like a lab rat trapped in a maze? Yeah, they're not exactly designed for brains that think outside the box. Neurodivergent kids might excel at creative problem-solving, abstract thinking, or hands-on learning, but those strengths are rarely reflected in standardized test scores. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, underestimation, and missed opportunities. There's rigid expectations and one-size-fits-all education. Traditional classrooms often operate on a rigid schedule with a one-size-fits-all approach to learning, but our neurodivergent kids might need more flexibility, movement breaks, sensory accommodations, or alternative teaching methods to reach their full potential. When these needs aren't met, it can lead to frustration, disengagement, and even school refusal. And sadly, many educators and professionals still lack adequate training in neurodiversity. This can lead to misdiagnosis, inappropriate interventions, and a lack of understanding about the unique challenges and strengths that neurodivergent individuals bring to the table. Finally, the social landscape of school can be a minefield for neurodivergent girls. Cliques, gossip, and unspoken social rules can be difficult to navigate, leading to isolation, anxiety, and low self-esteem. The result? Our daughters might be the ones who are labeled as lazy, disruptive, or underachieving. Their unique strengths might be overlooked, and their challenges might be dismissed as behavioral problems. And worst of all, they might internalize these negative messages and start to believe that they're just not good enough. But moms, we know better.
We know that our daughters are brilliant, capable, and full of potential, and we're not going to let a broken system dim their light. So we've acknowledged the flaws in the system. Now let's roll up our sleeves and build something better for our girls. It's time to break free from the confines of normal and create a supportive ecosystem where our daughters can flourish. Advocate like a mom bear or a Klingon warrior, if you'd rather go that route. Don't be afraid to fight for your daughter's right to an education that meets her unique needs. Research individualized education programs or 504 plans. Connect with school counselors and special education professionals and learn the ins and outs of educational law. Remember, you are your daughter's fiercest advocate and your voice matters. Explore alternative paths. If traditional school isn't the right fit, don't be afraid to explore other options. Homeschooling, online learning, unschooling, or alternative schools that specialize in neurodiversity can provide a more supportive and personalized learning environment for your daughter. Connect with your tribe. Reach out to other neurodivergent families in your community or online. Share resources, swap stories, and create a network of support. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are countless other families who understand your struggles and celebrate your wins. Find your mentors. Seek out neurodivergent adults who can serve as role models for your daughter. Connect with them through online communities, mentorship programs, or even local meetups. Seeing successful and happy neurodivergent adults can be incredibly empowering for young girls who are still figuring out their place in the world. And make sure that you're building a neurodiversity affirming home. Your home is your daughter's sanctuary, her safe space to be herself without fear of judgment. Make it a place where her quirks are celebrated, her passions are nurtured, and her unique way of thinking is valued. Fill it with sensory-friendly comforts, create flexible routines, and encourage open communication about her needs and feelings. Remember, we're not raising daughters, we're raising revolutionaries. By building a supportive ecosystem for our neurodivergent girls, we're empowering them to embrace their unique strengths, challenge their status quo, and create a world that celebrates diversity in all its forms. It's time to ditch the outdated narratives that paints neurodivergence as a deficit. Our girls are not broken puzzles missing pieces or square pegs in round holes. They are vibrant, dynamic individuals with unique strengths, passions, and perspectives. Imagine a world where Hermione Granger's encyclopedic knowledge and hyperfocus are celebrated, not stifled. Where Luna Lovegood's quirky creativity and unconventional thinking are embraced, not ridiculed. And where Daria Morgendorffer's sharp wit and insightful observations are valued, not dismissed as too cynical. These fictional characters and countless real-life women remind us that neurodivergence is not a barrier to success. It's often the secret ingredient. It's the spark that ignites innovation, the drive that fuels passion, and the perspective that challenges the status quo. Take a look at some real-life superheroes who are rocking their neurodivergent brains and changing the world. Temple Grandin. This renowned animal scientist and autism advocate has used her unique way of thinking to revolutionize the livestock industry. Her visual thinking, her ability to empathize with animals, and her unwavering determination have made her a trailblazer in her field. Susan Boyle rose to fame after her unforgettable audition on Britain's Got Talent. Her neurodivergence, which was initially met with skepticism, became her strength as she captivated audiences with her powerful voice and authentic personality. Tim Gunn, the fashion consultant and television personality, is known for his sharp wit, his impeccable style, and his unwavering support of aspiring designers. His ADHD, which he has openly embraced, is part of what makes him such a dynamic and engaging figure. These are just a few examples of the countless neurodivergent women who are thriving in their careers and lives. They're not letting their differences hold them back. They're using them as fuel to achieve their dreams. As mothers, we have a unique opportunity to empower our daughters to embrace their neurodivergence, not as a burden, but as a badge of honor. And here's how we can guide them on their journey. Teach them to advocate for their needs by equipping them with language and the confidence to communicate their needs to teachers, employers, and anyone else who needs to know. Help her understand that asking for accommodations is not a sign of weakness, but a way to level a playing field. Focus on what your daughter excels at, whether it's art, music, math, or building the most intricate Lego creations you've ever seen. Encourage her passions, nurture her talent, and help her find opportunities to shine. Help your daughter understand that her neurodivergent brain is not a mistake, but a gift. Teach her to love her quirks, embrace her differences, and find strength in her unique perspective. Introduce your daughter to successful neurodivergent women who can inspire and guide her. Help her find a community of like-minded individuals who understand her challenges and celebrate her triumphs. Empower your daughter to navigate the world on her own terms, not the system's terms. Teach her to problem solve, advocate for herself, and embrace her own unique path to success. Remember, moms, our daughters, like us, are not defined by their neurodivergence. They are complex, multifaceted individuals with a wealth of potential waiting to be unleashed. By empowering them to embrace their unique brains and navigate the world on their own terms, we're not just raising daughters, we're raising a generation of leaders, innovators, and change makers. Mom, your journey just isn't about raising a daughter. It's about rewriting the narrative of what it means to be neurodivergent in a world that's still catching up. It's about forging a path through a wilderness of misunderstanding, armed with love, resilience, and a whole lot of glitter. Remember, you're not just a mom, you're a pioneer. You're creating a new model for what it means to parent a neurodivergent child, one that's based on acceptance, celebration, and unwavering belief in your daughter's potential. So keep fighting the good fight. Keep advocating for your daughter's needs, keep celebrating her unique brilliance, and keep building a world that's worthy of her incredible mind. And remember, you're not alone. There's a whole army of neurodivergent moms out there cheering you on, offering a virtual hug, and reminding you that you're not just doing okay, you're doing something extraordinary.
Are you loving this podcast? Your feedback means the world to me. If you're finding value in the episode, please take a moment to leave a review. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Neurodivergent Mom Life podcast. Every week, we're diving into the realities of raising neurodivergent kids while embracing our own unique paths. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join our community of unstoppable moms.